Hey everyone, welcome to another video. How is it going? I'm here at this beautiful park, and today I want to do another test with my Canon 77D. I want to do a stabilization test and see how digital stabilization from the camera can improve the stabilization of the footage, if it's working or not, because I never used it before and I want to see if it works. At this moment I'm shooting with my Canon 77D and the 10 to 18mm lens, which is also stabilized. That means that even now when I don't have stabilization, like digital stabilization for my camera, the footage is pretty stable, as you can see. Even if I run a little bit, the footage is still pretty stable, but I want to see if the footage will get even more stable if I'll switch on the digital stabilization from the camera. And I also brought my 24mm lens f2.8 without stabilization inside, so it'll be a little bit more shaky, and we're gonna see if the stabilization from the camera, the digital stabilization, gonna improve the stabilization with this lens. And by the way, I want to mention that when you switch on the stabilization in the Canon cameras, the image is gonna crop in a little bit, so I don't know exactly how much, but we're also going to test that and see how much the stabilization is cropping inside the footage. And another thing that I want to mention is that Canon has two stabilization modes. One is called Enable, the stabilization is Enable, and another mode called Enhanced. So we're going to see what's the difference between Enable and Enhanced. I'm going to put everything down below, what lenses I'm using and what stabilization mode I'm using. I'm gonna start with this lens, with the 10 to 18mm lens, a simple walk test and then a simple run test here in the park. And we're gonna see what is the best mode for having the best stabilized footage. And also I'm gonna hold the camera pretty much every single time in the same length from my body, so you'll see exactly how much the image is cropping in. So let's start in 3, 2, 1, let's go. So guys, as far as I can see from the footage, the best stabilization in my personal opinion is the stabilization in the lens. It looks the more natural without waves on the side, and also you're not cropping in the image to get the widest angle possible from your lens if you're using a wide angle lens. But if you're using something without a stabilization on it, like something like my 24mm lens, I think that leaving the digital stabilization to enabled mode is really good. Alright, it's a lot better than enhanced, because enhanced is really jello-y, as you can see here right now in the footage. It looks too jello-y, like I added maybe, I don't know, 100% of warp stabilize in Adobe Premiere Pro, which me personally I don't like. But in the 10 to 18mm lens that I had like image stabilization inside the lens, it looks completely fine without stabilization. But with a 24mm lens, as you can see now, it's disabled, it's a little bit shaky. But with stabilization enabled, it looks a lot better. But do know that if, as far as you can see, that enabling the stabilization, cropping in the image, and if you leave the stabilization in enhanced mode, it's gonna crop the image even more. So I would use digital stabilization if you have a lens without stabilization on it, and leave the stabilization at enable and not enhanced. Enhanced is just too jelly and too cropped in my personal opinion. So this is just my personal opinion. Let me know, guys, what you think, what looks the best. And I hope you enjoyed this video, I hope you enjoyed this test, and I guess I will see you in the next one. Peace out.